Probably your mouth will too. You approach Scalebrook through its expansive fields and spot smoke rising up into the sky. A short while later, you can hear the cries of battle, and finally you can smell the tallow on the orc's armor. Scalebrook is at war.
Quick! We have to help those people!
And what now? I'm not that quick!
Yes?
Yeah! I didn't hit you very hard! Huh? Yes? Don't rush me! What is it? Yes, yes, soon! I'm not that quick! Easy! Yes, yes, soon!
Fine.
I'm not that quick! He hardly put up a fight! Yes, yes, soon! I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, soon! I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, soon! That's it! They're fleeing! I don't think so, they're just rallying!
And that's what we should do too. Come on.
Thank you so much. You saved us.
Not yet. The orcs are rallying. You must join us.
But we can't.
You must. Here they come. Come on,
huh? He'll put up a fight. I'll be ready soon. Don't rush me. I'll be ready soon. Huh? And what now? Who's next? I'm not that quick. Huh? I can't do that yet. What is it? Kill. What is it? Yes, yes, soon. I'm not that quick. Yes. Don't rush me. Huh? What is it?
Please wait a moment.
Huh? And what now? Yes, yes, soon. He hardly put up a fight. What is it? Huh? What is it?
Unlock
Yes, yes, soon!
While Boindale still hunts the last of the orcs through the alleyways of the village, you and Boendal are already helping search for survivors. Various villagers, all with shocked, ashen faces, come and thank you for saving them. A middle-aged man nervously steps from one foot to the other and tries to force a smile.
My father, the village elder, he is dead. I think I must follow in his footsteps, so I thank you in the name of Scalebrook. He left behind some gold as a dowry for my sister. She's...
The man bows his head, produces a leather pouch, and kneads it with trembling hands.
If only you'd come earlier.
But before you can reply, the man takes a deep breath and forces himself to look at you.
What am I saying? How ungrateful. Thanks to you, many of us are still alive. My daughter may be able to marry one day, thanks to your bravery.
The man hesitates briefly, then thrusts the leather pouch towards you.
We won't accept your gold. Bury your dead, rebuild your village, and be a good father to your daughter.
Boendal looks at you, and you think you can see an approving nod. The man opens his mouth to say something, but then he just shakes his head and finally starts again.
I thank you, dear sir, but there is no way I can let you go with empty hands. Here, take this. My father bought it from a trader, one of your kind.
You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right. The smell of burnt wood and death is in the air.
By Ruckus.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Garen.
The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the rest of her appearance. From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening skeleton. There are long nails sticking through her thin bones, and where her beautiful eyes once were, are now gaping black holes. You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small example of their architectural skill, which achieved perfection in Alandur. Now burning and ruined, the pavilion makes an even sadder impression. The hand that painted this picture was that of a master. It is composed exclusively in shades of red, but every single little detail is painstakingly and precisely reflected. Trees, the remains of buildings, bodies. You hesitate.
This picture portrays the village in its state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize that it is actually made of skin. And the red paint seems more than suspicious now. The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now. But here, so close to the bodies, it is masked by the sweet smell of death. You have a bitter taste in your mouth, and have to pull yourself together to avoid vomiting in disgust. Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves live together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces contorted with pain and fear. You look away. The body of the man is riddled with arrows and is lying in a small patch of undamaged ground, while a sea of flames must have raged in a circle around him. The robes remind you of those of Lot Yonan's famuli. This, plus the fact that the man used magic, makes you quite sure that this is Garen.
Garen had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
Your eyes fall upon a sealed letter next to the books. The circumstances seem grave enough for you to break the seal.
Greetings, Toga. I am glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I have found out something new about the demon. It's all written in these books. I think they are the key to his destruction, or I hope so, at least. Yours faithfully, Garen. What demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here, and beyond it, Varakas only knows what kind of creatures live in the Perish Land.
I knew I smelled the stench of groundlings.
Huzzah! This will be fun! We finally get to fight!
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much. It has to be nice and fluid for my fine brushstrokes.
Ha! How do you plan to defeat us, pointy ears? There are 3 of us!
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
She looks over the corpses.
Othar and Luath Buanre!
What's happening? That's the perished land.
Impossible. Greenglade is south of the barrier.
I know of nothing else that can resurrect the dead. Knock their heads off or they'll keep coming back. And what now? I'm not that quick. Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! Yes! bites the dust!
I can't do that yet! Please wait a moment! Understood. I can't do that yet!
Yes? I'll be ready soon! I didn't hit you very hard! And what now?
Vile creature!
Yes, yes! So! Another one! I'm not that quick!
They're hitting me pretty hard!
Yes, yes! So! I'm not that quick!
Huh?
He hardly put up a fight!
Just wait a moment!
Huh? Too easy! Huh? Don't rush me! I'll be ready soon! Hey!
Yes? I can't do that yet!
What is it? Don't rush me! What is it? I didn't hit you very hard!
Kill!
I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick!
Huh?
Ow! Another one bites the dust!
Please wait a moment!
Huh? I just need a little rest.
Yes? I need help over here! Quickly!
As good as done!
I can't do that yet!
He hardly put up a fight!
Please wait a moment!
Who's next?
I can't do that yet! Please wait a moment!
All right!
Others will take my place.
rush me! What is it? I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! Pow! Yes, so! I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! On my way! Give me a hand! Yes, yes, so! I didn't hit you very hard!
Understood.
I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! That's what is done! Too easy! Yes, yes, so! I didn't hit you very hard! Yes, yes, so! Kill! I'm not back, quick! Again. Yes, yes, so! Pow! Another one bites the dust. And again. I didn't hit you very hard. He cheated. Yes! What is it? What is it? I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! All right, yes, yes, so! As good as done! On my way! As good as done. I'm not that quick. Yes, yes, so. Boindale, what are you doing with your axes over here? I'm not that quick. Yes, yes, so. I'm not that quick. Too easy. Yes, yes, so. I'm not that quick. Who's next? Let me get. Creature. I'll be ready soon. Who's next? And what now? Yes, yes, so. I'm not that quick. I have bow and dart. Give me a hand. Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, so. I'm not that quick. Find it. Yes, yes. What are you doing with your axes over here? I'm not that quick. Yes, yes, so. Too easy. What is it? Yes? Huh? I'm not that quick. Yes, yes, so. I'm not that quick. Another one bites the dust. Yes, yes, so. I'm not that quick. And again. Oh, you didn't hit you very hard. Huh? Wild creature. They're hitting me pretty hard. Yes. Another one bites the dust. I didn't hit you very hard. Yeah. Who's next? I can't do that easy. Yeah. He hardly put up a fight. Just wait a moment. On my way. Wild creature! Don't rush me! I'll be ready!
Over here, quickly!
Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! Kill! Yes, yes, so! I'm not that quick! Yes, yes, so!
Yes?
Yes, next! Vile creature! He cheated!
Bullshit. It's fake. That shit fake. Shit hating. It's a hater.
Don't rush me! On my way! What is it? And what now? Too easy! I'm not that quick! Huh? And again! Ow! Another one bites the dust! We hardly put up a fight! Too easy! Yes, yes! So! Huh? I can't do that yet! Please wait a moment! I can't do that yet! And what now? I'm not quick! Yes, yes! So! Too easy! Understood. Yes? Please wait a moment! What is it? I didn't hit you very hard! Yes, yes! So! Yes? And again! Who's next? I'll be ready soon! Don't rush me! I'll be ready soon! I am Don't rush me! I'll be ready soon! Don't rush me! Who's next? I'll be ready soon! Don't rush me! I'll be ready soon! Don't rush me! Give me a hand! I'll be ready soon! Don't rush me! I'll be ready soon! Huh? Too easy! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Kill! Too easy!
Yes?
Huh? What is it? Kill! Another one bites the dust! I'm not that quick! I didn't hit you very hard! Huh? I can't do that yet! Please wait a moment! Yes, put up a fight! On my way. Yes. Don't rush me! I'll be ready soon! put up a fight. Don't rush me. I'll be ready soon. Huh? Who's next? On my way.
Yes, yes, soon.
Show.
As good as done.
Where's it at?
I'm not that quick.
Huh?
What is it?
Is that one?
Of course. What is it?
No.
Yes, yes, soon.
I'm not that quick.
Yes, yes, soon.
I'm not that quick. Understood.
Yes, yes, soon.
Yes?
Yeah. Ha ha.
Dwarves, you protected the glade.
The perished land. The barrier has fallen.
You can feel your stomach cramping. Unlike Boindale, you can't say a word.
The damn mage, I only had one job.
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing. I am left with nothing. My love, my beauty, my home, and my forest. Everything has been taken from me. I beg you, have mercy and put an end to my suffering.
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf maiden's expression. The dignity that she must once have radiated can only be imagined in her current state.
Garen was here, and I've heard that you elves have special abilities in battle. Did the Alpha take you by surprise in your sleep?
I felt her presence, but when I confronted the elf, she had already killed the first of us and resurrected the perished land. It fills humans and dwarves with a hatred for life. It turns you into beasts. They charge through the village like a fury, and everyone that they killed became one of theirs. It has a different effect on humans and dwarves than on us elves. It fills you with a hatred for life. It turns you into beasts. They charged through the village like a fury, and everyone they killed became one of theirs.
If the perished land spreads further south, then Nodon won't need any orcs, ogres, or Alfar. One human losing their life in the perished land would be enough for the madness to sweep through the land like the plague.
I'm sorry for what happened here. We must go to Lot Yonan before the perished land spreads further. He will know what is to be done.
Neither of your companions objects.
I can't believe it. The barrier has fallen. How could that happen?
Who can tell? Anything could go wrong with all that hocus pocus.
It had held back the perished land since the fall of the Fifthlings. Reinforcing the barrier whenever it loses power is the primary duty of the Great Magi. I can't imagine how Nodon or anyone else could have broken through it.
You think of the demons mentioned in Garen's letter. You wonder whether it could be possible that a demon from the Outer Lands might possess powers so great that even the 6 Magi weren't ready for it.
That's it, bro. That's it. It's over. I killed the devil. I did it. I did it. No, fuck with you. Let me see. Snatching my food and shit, no.
Every evening since you left Greenglade, you have looked at Garen's books and tried to prize out the knowledge that they hold. But now, you must admit to yourself that you can't decipher them. They are written in the learned language for High Magi, and Lot Yonan didn't teach you that. However, you're sure that the books are important. Why else would Garen want them sent to Turga the Fair-Faced? You put them away with a sigh, and your eyes remain on the bag that Lot Yonan gave you. Did Garen ask Lot Yonan to return the magical artifacts in the pouch? You pick up the pouch and look at it.
Lot Yonan forbade me from opening the pouch.
What the heck? Garen is dead, and you want to know what you're lugging around with you through the length and breadth of Girdlegard. You grasp at the pouch with an uninvolved expression so that the twins don't think you're acting against Lot Yonan's instructions. You undo the knot with nimble fingers. A piercing, bone-splitting sound rings out, and small spheres of light shoot into the air, ending in colourful explosions.
By Fracas' hammer and all the fires of his forge!
The twins jump up immediately and draw their weapons. You curse and quickly close the pouch again.
By the mountains of Girdlegard! What was that, Scholar?
I just wanted to examine the magical trap. It's for thieves, in case someone tries to steal the pouch.
You try to act normally, so that they don't realize you got just as much a shock as they did. Boindale looks at the pouch with animosity.
Magical frippery.
The twins sit down again, and you slowly recover. Just like previous nights, you are haunted by the image of the elf maiden nailed to the tree in Greenglade. You wake from your sleep and look around you. The night is unusually dark. Despite your good dwarven eyes, you can only make out Boendal's outline. even though he's keeping watch only a few steps away. You're about to lie down again, but suddenly feel something cold against your throat. Next to you, the pale face of an elf slides into view.
Good evening. I'm afraid we missed each other in Greenglade, so my companion had to receive you on her own.
You consider your options, but before you have reached a decision, the dagger is pressed more tightly against your throat, and you feel a second blade at your back.
Quiet now. I'm not going to kill you, not yet. Do you know what I'm going to do instead?
You feverishly search for an answer, but you can't even imagine how an Alfar thinks.
I will kill everyone who means anything to you. I will destroy your life, and you will sink into hopelessness, groundling. Your downfall is called Syntheras.
You tense your muscles, readying to defend yourself, but suddenly realize that the blade against your throat has disappeared. You look around, astonished. The elf is nowhere to be seen. You look over to Boendal, who is easy to recognize in the bright moonlight. Next to you, Boindil smacks his lips in his sleep. You touch your throat, and when you don't feel anything, you breathe out, relieved.
Just a nightmare.
At least that's what you tell yourself. But you don't close your eyes for the rest of the night. Boindil unwraps his dwarf cheese again and cooks it on the fire. When he offers you a piece, you take it.
I knew we'd make a dwarf of you in the end.
You chew on the cheese so you don't have to answer. It tastes better than you first thought. You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing from the lively scene. The sound of metal on metal from the village smithy that would normally be heard above everything else at this time of day. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you, and he jumps to his feet.
Dear dwarves, could I interest you in helping me in my workshop for a day?
The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope. As you don't answer immediately, he continues.
I'll help you. I worked in a forge for a while.
You modestly conceal that in this case, a while means almost a whole human lifetime. A little later, you are standing in the workshop, examining the smith's inferior tools, while he fires up the forge and prepares everything for the job, as well as he can, with just one good arm. You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, Boindil declared. But you think it's more probable that you'll find them drinking beer. But you don't care. You're excited about being able to smith again after such a long time. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat of the forge, the sweat on your warm skin, the play of the flames. You're in your element, and work as if in a trance. The smith left the workshop ages ago, with a satisfied grin on his face.
Wait, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise. Everything but the beating of the hammer had ceased to exist, and you didn't notice that someone has come in.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light grey eyes that it feels as though he wants to look right through you and into your deepest thoughts. The man points to two horses.
Those two, in 1 hour.
These two need shoeing. No problem.
The man doesn't look convinced, but you get to work with confidence after examining the horses' hooves. Two more armed men are standing next to the horses, sizing you up. You concentrate on the work. The only sound you hear is the melodic beat of the hammer against the anvil. You keep track of the armed men out of the corner of your eyes. You suspect they are mercenaries. While you're fitting the third horseshoe, another armed man enters the forge and speaks in hushed tones with the leader of the group.
He's the only one here.
The man nods in your direction, and you quickly shift your attention back to the work. You play it cool and complete the work. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men leave the workshop without a word.
So, you're mercenaries, I take it?
You're only trying to engage in conversation, but the man looks at you incredulously, as if he didn't expect dwarves to be able to talk.
Something like that.
Got lots of work? Oh, do you know anything about the armies of orcs from the south?
We can't complain.
The man's tone makes it clear that the conversation has ended here. You carry out the work in silence. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men leave the workshop without a word. You ignore the horsemen and concentrate on your work. When you tell the twins about your visitors later on, they know exactly who you're talking about. They encountered them on the way back from hunting. You spend the night in the smith's house and continue on your way, with your well-earned reward the next morning. Axeldale is shrouded in an eerie silence as you approach. There's not a single fishing boat on the river, and many of the houses are now just burnt-out ruins.
The big-nosed beasts have made a grim job of it. Seems they don't like fish.
Boendal gives his brother a reproachful look. There are dead bodies everywhere, but it seems to you that there should be more of them. For a brief moment, you hope that the villagers had fled. But then you realize that the orcs were probably hungry after their victory, and your stomach turns. Boendal lays a hand on your shoulder.
Let's go. There's nothing more we can do for these people. But maybe there are others we can help.
Once you reach the top of the hill above Goodwater, you can see what is left of the village. The sea of red-roofed tiles has given way to a forest of burnt black ruins.
Why are the Magus' vaults here in the middle of nowhere? And why does the Lord of Yonendar live in a vault and not in a castle?
It's to do with the magical fields.
And that's why he lives in the vaults?
No, it's more to do with security.
I don't like it here. All this hocus-pocus is bad news. Us dwarves know that and keep well away, just as Vracus commanded. I hope you know that too.
I cannot perform magic, and I've never attempted to. Nevertheless...
Now then, it would seem that the tongue of the learned one becomes somewhat haughtier, and his sentences doth wind most strangely as we verily approach the vaults.
You can't help but grin guiltily. With
Who the hell built this tunnel?
Bowendahl examines the crumbling roof with a mixture of disbelief and indignation.
Be quiet. I want to surprise them.
Is that such a good idea? What if we give your master such a shock that he casts a spell on us?
It is unusually quiet in the vaults, but the smell of dinner is in the...
That's no reason to go and get ourselves turned into something... Only longuns will build like this. Oh, the war... Tungdo, have you found your makers yet?
No, not yet. I'll keep looking.
You don't know the man coming out of Lot Yonan's study. His robes identify him as a famulus of Nudin the Knowledge-Lusty. You have a bad feeling. The quiet vaults, the open gate, the strange famulus. Your hand moves to the handle of your axe before you address him.
Greetings. What are you doing here? And where is Master Lot Yonan?
Ah, another one.
Don't even think of using magic, or I'll lodge this pretty piece of steel in your brain.
It takes the famulus a few seconds to comprehend the situation.
All right, I won't use magic.
What happened here? Where is everyone?
For a while, Famulus seems to be playing with the idea of being stubborn. Bowendahl pushes a little harder on the end of the crow's beak, and the tip penetrates the skin.